Hey, it's Hallie. Today's soda of the day is Brio. It is a Italian soda, Italian cola, I should say. And it's unlike any other drink I've tasted. Like, it has a very unique flavor to it that I actually really like, but it's kind of weird. It has kind of this, it's like a cola, but it's a little more bitter. It's really good with pizza. That's actually where I first tried it. Is you can get it with this one pizza place in town that has it as a drink, and you get 2 free drinks with your pizza. So we always get Brio, and it is great. They also make these great commercials with the Brio man. They're ridiculous. Today I thought I'd talk about some of my tips when trying to learn a new piece of software, because I've been learning a new piece of software recently, and some of the just things to think about and kind of how to shift your mind to be able to properly learn a program in a way that isn't super boring. Because even I have challenges with things that seem like they would be hard in my head. I just want to avoid learning how to do, and in reality, with just a little bit of patience, you can get through those things that seem hard pretty easily, because there's lots of helpful tutorials out for pretty much any possible thing you want to learn these days. And if you just are following step by step, most of the time it just works. It just takes some patience. Sometimes it's a little boring going through all the settings and trying to figure it out. Oh, one of my lights died. Oh, okay, we're just gonna continue with just one light. Hopefully it looks okay. The way I found the easiest way to kind of start learning a software and get to a point where it's more fun than tedious quicker is to just try and do something very specific that you had in mind, that you kind of know that the program should be able to do, and then just go about finding the tutorials that allow you to do that thing that you're imagining. I've always had a lot of trouble going and finding like the beginner 2-hour-long course that kind of gives you the basics and gets you to a level of reasonable competency. Obviously those are good to do eventually because they teach you all of the little tricks, and you might be doing stuff wrong that actually just had a way easier way to do it and that you wouldn't know unless you did start from a beginner course level and worked your way up. But those can be really hard to get through, especially if you're not really getting to see any results. Because I know, like, I guess these days it's hard to be learning something without any kind of instant gratification at all. But I think most programs, there's actually things that are pretty easy to do and to achieve that look really impressive. And sometimes that little spark of just being able to like spend a couple hours and create something that to other people looks like it was really hard to make, that can just get you excited enough to now go back and invest the time into a beginner, longer course to learn the rest. That's kind of how it was with me with Blender, because I kind of realized that Blender is such a vast program and it can do so many things that if you just sort of start with the beginner courses, they usually teach you first how to model and like how to manipulate the basic shapes and how to do lighting to light those basic shapes. And obviously it gives you a good grasp of the overall interface, and a lot of the skills you're learning apply to pretty much everything. However, I wanted to use Blender specifically in my filmmaking, and when you approach Blender specifically for filmmaking, it's actually a very different workflow than doing 3D modeling in Blender. And what you can achieve with very minimal understanding of the program is actually really impressive, and is actually pretty much the majority of what I wanted to use Blender for. And it only really took like an hour to figure that stuff out, going at it from specifically a filmmaker perspective, compared to if I just took beginner Blender courses, for instance, the whole donut course. Sure, at the end of it, you understand how to make models from scratch, which is a very useful thing to know. but I'm still so far away, or at least I feel so far away from knowing how to do the things I wanted to do in my filmmaking. So that can be how you can do it, is just figure out something that you think looks cool that you know the program can do, or like an idea you have that you kind of think the program could help you achieve, and then go and challenge yourself to figure out how to make that specific thing. And it might be a lot harder than doing beginner courses, but if you can get through that, then you can get through beginners, and it's just a breeze because you've already kind of accomplished something that's a lot more challenging than the beginner courses. And it just gets you in there, and it gets like, by the end of it, you've created a thing that you can be proud of most of the time. So yeah, I guess that's probably it for today. Thanks so much.